Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Chad. I just got out of the sauna and I feel freaking awesome. I know that I'm known as kind of the guy who loves the cold, and I definitely do, but it's really good during the colder times of year just to be able to get into something warm, whether that be a hot tub, assuming that it has clean water, or a sauna or something like that, because it really just allows everything to open up. And with all the clothes that we tend to wear when it's, cold out, that really tends to block up the pores, and that just allows everything to kind of just open up and be all good. And it's one of the only ways, not the only way, but it's one of the only ways that your body is able to rid itself of more oil-based toxins. So, but as always, if you do something like a hot tub, make sure you hydrate up good with whatever is your choice, or use something more than just regular water, but that's up for you to decide. So anyways, today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite herbs. It's known as, by its botanical name, is Gynostema pentaphyllum. The name in traditional Chinese medicine is jiaogulan, and I'll go ahead and show it to you. I just got a glass of it right here. It just wasn't even going to make a video, and I just decided, yeah, that is actually tea. Don't be acting funny now. Now, this stuff is basically, it's most known as being an adaptogen. Its first known use was back in the 1400s, where in one of the Materia Medicas, it was listed as a famine food. It's actually a very weedy, like grass-like plant, and it's full of active compounds to the extent that not even really sure, scientists who actually research it aren't really sure what every single one of them does, but as of right now there's been about 82 different compounds discovered within this one plant, and 4 of them are almost identical to, actually they are identical to Asian ginseng. So that's the Asian ginseng, not Siberian, which is technically not a ginseng. But anyways, so it's great for, it's one of the cool things about it is with it being, it's more of a unique adaptogen in that it has the ability, because it's considered bidirectional, it has the ability to calm you down if you're kind of amped up, or kind of pick you up if you're more in a, we'll say in a depressed state. Not depressed in the sense of we think of as depression, although it could help with that. It's more of a, if you're just feeling kind of lethargic, and it can help to give you that boost. And it doesn't work in the same way that caffeine would, because caffeine does a whole bunch of crazy things inside of you. So that's not what adaptogens do. So this is what the plant itself looks like. This is the dried herb, and that's all it is. Just really simple. It's grass, and it's a grass, but it has it's actually in the same family as the cucumber and the gourd, if you can kind of believe that. So it comes from that. Now, some of the things it's been known to do is it has really hardcore immune enhancing abilities. It kicks up natural killer cells, T lymphocytes, macrophage, and it's been shown to have a lot of anti-tumor assistance because of that. And one of the another cool things, similar to Hishu Wu, which I introduced you to not too long ago, it does help to produce endogenous superoxide dismutase, which is it's an endogenous antioxidant. It helps your body out. It's good. So what I do when I make this stuff is, simply put, I take about I typically take 2 to 3 teaspoons. Most people, I would say, just start out with 1 or 2. There's no point in wasting herb or creating a drink that is too strong for you and you dislike it. And I just stick it in a French press. So what you want to do with this, put your herb in and dump your hot water on. So, 1 to 2 teaspoons per 8 ounces, and then just cap that baby, let it sit up like that, or put it in a jar, preferably covered. There's not a lot of volatile oils to it, so it's not like you're losing any of the good stuff in steam like you would with a lot of other plants. So just do it up like that and let it sit for about 40 minutes. And then you can just strain it out and drink it. I typically don't have much more than 4 to 6 ounces at a time. There was one of the time that when I first got into drinking it, I had this heroic dose. I was like, okay, this stuff's like really good, so I want to see what it's got. And I knocked back a mason jar full in like 45 minutes, and I was tweaking, and I actually had a rash come up as a result of that, and it disappeared quite quickly. But so there's no reason to overdo it. And with a lot of these adaptogenic herbs, you get to a point where you're basically wasting herb if you're just drinking it consistently throughout the day. Like, you know, we're talking in larger doses, you know, like 32 ounces. So, because it's only going to do so much for your system until you're just wasting it, essentially. And on the topic of waste, something I wanted to bring up is that with a lot of these herbs that I'm introducing to you, such as the Hishu Wu, this gynostema, at some point I'll show you reishi, astragalus. What you can do with a lot of those is just say you make a batch one day. Take that herb after you've strained it and put it in a jar and just toss it in your refrigerator. The next day make another batch and then take the remaining from that, toss that in the refrigerator, and then on the third day take your herbs and that you've been saving in the fridge, dump it all in to a pot, boil it up, or make it as I just described there, and you get more mileage out of your herb rather than just tossing it. Especially when you're talking about like roots, like the Hishu Wu. There's a lot of very, very dense fibers within a lot of these plants that you'd think that after you boiled something for 45 minutes, or in the case of, say, reishi, like you boil it for, say you just make a quick decoction and you do it for like 2 hours. There's still a heck of a lot of compounds and good stuff, we'll say, left in that plant. And with a traditional way of making, say, a reishi decoction is usually to let it go for 24 to 36 hours. So just experiment. Sometimes you might just come up and it was bland and kind of a waste of time, but you know, that's part of this whole thing. There's no set authority on how exactly to use a lot of the plants that I'm showing you. It's just some of these things, you know, for certain individuals, they make the jiaogulan, like I just mentioned, 40 minutes. That might be way too strong for them, and it may bring out more of the bitter tastes, then that person might not like it. Now, as far as the taste does go, it tends to have more of it's a slightly sweet, slightly bitter, and a neutral taste. So from the standpoint of traditional Chinese medicine, it's going to act upon let's see, no, not really the liver, but rather the digestion, because the bitter tends to help out with the digestion, although the liver, gallbladder does play a role in that. It's going to be more on the lower part of digestion, and the slight sweetness is going to play a part with spleen function. So for any of you who are into knowing all about that stuff, that's a 2-hour video right there at the very least, so you'll have to look that up, or I'll get into it another time. But so that's that for today. If you have any questions, comments, shoot them to me. Like, comment, share, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.